I never imagined I'd become the kind of husband who counts excuses instead of moments. But there I was, perched at the edge of our bed, watching my wife, the same woman who once couldn't sleep without my arm around her, lay out 10 reasons she wasn't in the mood anymore. She had them written down. A literal list. I'm tired. It's not you, it's my hormones. You don't help enough around the house. And it went on. Reason after reason, each one quietly eroding the little intimacy we still had left. I didn't interrupt. I just listened. Over the years, I'd learned that silence speaks louder than words. What struck me wasn't anger, it was her calmness. Like this wasn't even a problem. Like our marriage had become a roommate agreement. And she was fine signing off her half of the emotional rent. When she finished, she looked at me, waiting for a reaction. I asked one question. So, is this permanent? She shrugged. I just don't feel that way anymore, Mark. Maybe someday it'll come back, but for now, can't we just be comfortable? Comfort. That word hit harder than any argument we'd ever had. Comfort wasn't for someone you vowed to love. It was what you built with friends. I nodded. Didn't argue. Didn't beg. All right then. You've got your 10 reasons. I'll think about mine. That night I couldn't sleep. I stared at the ceiling, replaying years of effort. Every dinner I cooked, every bouquet I bought, every conversation I tried to start that went nowhere. I realized I had been pouring love into something that had already died. As cruel as it sounds, love without effort is just a slow betrayal in disguise. By morning I had my own list, 10 consequences. Not out of spite, but out of self-respect. I left for work without a word. No coffee, no kiss, no asking if she needed anything. Just silence. The first consequence began that evening. I stopped being available. 4 years I had kept the household running, groceries, bills, minor repairs, even her car. Invisible acts of love she never noticed. That night, when she complained about the leaky faucet, I said only, add it to your list. Second consequence. No more emotional labor. Her work frustrations, her venting sessions. I listened politely but didn't absorb a single word. I didn't comfort or advise. Her complaints became background noise, the same way she'd treated my affection. The third. I stopped reaching out. No good morning texts. No gentle touches. No small gestures. The house felt colder, but not as cold as her indifference had been. Within days she noticed. Why are you acting distant? She asked. I smiled faintly. You wanted comfortable, right? I'm just getting comfortable. I wasn't angry. I was aware. Years of chasing her warmth had left me hollow. I filled that space with boundaries. Gym sessions, reconnecting with friends, long walks outside. Consequence 4. My attention no longer belonged to her by default. 5. I stopped including her in plans. No dinner invites, no shared shows, no weekend outings. The silence that once terrified me now became my ally. Peace long forgotten returned. She confronted me one evening, voice shaking. I feel like you're punishing me. No, I said gently. I'm just giving you what you asked for. A life without intimacy in every form. That was the moment reality hit her. She realized intimacy isn't just touch. It's effort, attention, connection. And she had destroyed all 3. Week 2, my silence carried weight. Calm, deliberate, intentional. She began cooking again, asking about my day, wearing the perfume I had once adored. I didn't respond. Consequence 6. Attention must be earned, not assumed. When she reached for my hand at dinner, I didn't pull away, but I didn't hold it either. My face remained neutral, my fork moving steadily. Confusion replaced the confidence she had always assumed I would offer. 7. When she suggested a weekend together, I already had plans. Her shock was priceless. She had grown so used to being my entire world that she forgot I could exist without her. 8. I stopped defending her. Mutual friends asked about us. I didn't sugarcoat her coldness or cover it with polite lies. We're figuring things out, I said. That left her furious at losing control of the story. 9. One night she came to me in tears. I feel invisible, she said. I looked at her calmly. That's how I felt for years. You just never noticed because I kept showing up anyway. She begged for another chance, promising therapy, communication, affection. Everything I had begged for long before she listed her reasons. But I had already written consequence 10 freedom. I told her I was moving out, taking space to rediscover the man I was before I begged for love from someone who had already counted the reasons not to give it. She tried to hold me, but I stepped back gently. You made a list of why you couldn't be close to me, I said. Now I'm giving you space to live with it. I left quietly. No drama. No anger. Just peace. Weeks later, she texted, finally understanding what she had lost. But by then I had learned the most important truth. Love doesn't always end with hate. Sometimes it ends when the begging stops.